Okay. Can we get a very warm welcome for Legend?
So yeah, I guess I can start. So I will do like, I'm the last panel today, so I guess everybody wants to go to the mixer real quick, right? And eat something. So I'll do real quick. So I'll do just DAO management, like we talk about DAOs today, governance. Like today was full of governance, right? And I'll do very quick, like how to create a DAO. Like everybody talk about DAOs, but nobody like, where do I create one, right? You're Solana, so I guess I will start. So who am I? I'm Legend. I'm like your average Joe, within the ecosystem. So I'm like a shitcoiner. So I'm the most non-technical person here. Like you can ask me anything. And I'm a contributor at Dean's List and Realms just recently. So yeah, you can find me also in the Twitter handle. So I talk shit about almost everything. Sorry for the bad words, but yeah. So yeah, I got everybody has their own definition of what's a DAO. Like you can ask Beeman, you can ask Synkas from L2Bit, from Lighthouse. Like everybody has their own definition of a DAO, right? And this is like the textbook definition of a DAO from Investopedia, like everybody knows. So what's a good analogy to what is a DAO? Like you can, from a Web 2 level, the most simple analogy you can get to a DAO is like it's a group of people who votes on chain, right? And then a Web 2 analogy would be like a club, a university club where you have a president, a semi-president, a treasury, and a manager, right? And they will just vote by themselves, right? So like that's what the DAO is, but you vote on chain or blockchain, right? But everybody has their own definition. You can ask, anybody, everybody will say something different, so right? Everybody has like a little idea how they works, right? So yeah, what enables DAOs, at least on Solana, is I'm going to present at Realms. So Realms is a free no-code builder. So if you have like little resources or like you want to start an experiment on DAOs, what is DAOs? Like I want to put my friends. So yeah, Realms is a good solution. Like Realms is an open source, permissionless, on-chain, and composable. So where we can offer from, you want to start low, you're going to start high, and yeah, it's we have if we can start with proposals, we have the instruction attached. So imagine you have this little club, you have a literal club, and you want to buy some books for your literal club. So you have this DAO with 3 people. You have me, your president, and the treasurer. So this DAO is managed by 3 people. And if you want to buy books, we will start the transfer instruction. So Realms is enabling you with the transfer funds. Every DAO has a treasury, right? And if you wanna, buy some books, you're gonna get some money from the treasury. And Realms enables you to buy some books with using a transfer funds instruction, right? And yeah, Realms also offers some native integration with Solana protocols. That's why it's also composable. You get symmetry baskets, which it's a DeFi some integration where you can like own some assets on chain. You have Marinade in case you want a liquid stake, and so on, like dilate alerts. And so I will start with DAO creation, right? Everybody, as I mentioned before, everybody talk about governance, philosophical, and technical level. So how does one create a DAO, right? Or like me and some friends, or me in a community wants to create a DAO. So Yams offer like 3 types of DAOs: a multi-sig signature wallet. So if you have like a little group, you don't have a community, you go for a multi-sig. If you have an NFT community, like you just minted, just launched your NFT DAO, you can go to the NFT community DAO. Like Realms enables you to create an NFT DAO. And as everybody knows, like pump fund tokens, meme tokens, you can go for community token DAO, right? Today I'm going to showcase like the community token DAO, which everybody I think is interested, like how to create a token DAO basically. So yeah, I think it's the easiest step, right? Step 1, choose your name. So let's go with AthensDAO 2026. It might be alpha, might be not. So we'll see. And let's go for step 2. Step 2. So yeah, when creating a DAO, you'll face some with questions. I hope everybody can see. Sorry for the not the best designed slides, but I hope everybody can see. So you get asked which token can you want to use. Do you have a token? You do not have a token? So yeah, for this example, I use Dean's List, and I'm going to use the token Dean's List to create a token, right? And you get afterwards gets asked if you want to transfer the authority. So if, for example, if you created the token using Squads, which is a multi-sig wallet, or you created using some type of tool, you probably can transfer to realms, but if you create it through pump.fun, these platforms, you probably can't. But in some cases, you can transfer out. And yeah, this is a very important setup because it's like this is where you set the threshold. So imagine you have I use the literally club. I'm gonna use like a grocery store. So like you have 10 apples, and you want to give pass a proposal, and the proposal like set to 60%. So what does it mean? You need 6 apples to pass the proposal, which is of 10 apples, right? And I think that's not the best analogy, but the one I just thought on the spot. So yeah, you need like 6 apples to pass a proposal, right? And after you set the community proposal, which is now community where it's going to vote, you get a council. So council is going to be your safety net. So I suggest every DAO, big, small, starts with a council. Because you never know what's going to happen. Imagine you have a big community, boom, everybody disappears. How does imagine you have like 1,000 USDC in your wallet, treasury wallet. So you need a council to move operations fast in case you fail to, proceed with your DAO, right? So it's a council. I always recommend it to everyone. Very rarely DAOs, remove the council. Like if a DAO removes the council, like it's breathtaking. Like it's very hard to keep it. But yeah, that's its experiment, right? And yeah, we'll create a council token. So here at Realms, we support all domains, which you guys saw from Claudio yesterday, and I think today as well, right? And yeah, and both with the addresses. So in case you don't know your friend's wallet, you can just put his domain and you add him as a council. And yeah, the same you have as community threshold for community, you have the same for council. So you can't really be having the council token and steal all the funds, right? It's like a safety net. So you need to get approval from all the council holders before approving like this type of proposals. And that's it. You're gonna get to the review page, which is the last page. You get to see your name, you get to see the token you're gonna use, you're gonna see the approval threshold, the council the same. And that's it. Hello world, that's a DAO you just created. And everybody can see, you get to see your name, you get to see the proposals gonna appear. Like for now, there's none, right? You get to see your governance power, but at the moment it's 0. But you have like, if you have like Dinsley, you have 10 tokens, it's gonna appear there. You have a council vote, it's going to appear there. You can see also every DAO comes with a treasury. At the moment, it's zero because we need some funds from AthensDAO 2026. So yeah, everybody is free to contribute. I will paste the wallet here later. So yeah, every DAO comes with proposal, right? Everybody's free to create DAO proposals. And in this case, we have like very specific DAO proposals, right? You have the executable and non-executable. So what's executable proposals? So executable proposal is where DAOs can execute proposals on chain. So what can you do on chain, right? You can stake to a validator. You can transfer funds to to pay for some grants. You can lock some tokens. So in case you wanna give a grant to another team to build this stuff for you. So you can do like a milestone-based grant when you can just start the transfer on chain. And if the grant doesn't go successful, you can claw back the funds. So it's very good in a transparent way to do stuff. Like governments, they are allocated like 10 millions of grants and stuff, and nobody knows where the money goes, right? So Realms is a good way, like blockchain in general is a good way to keep track of grants, like where the money goes, who is the owner of this wallet, et cetera, et cetera. And the other way is a non-executable proposal, so which is like a poll type of proposal. Like people can ask questions to the community, and the community can like vote yes, no, maybe, and so on. So in this case, I think I went with the non-executable proposal, so I can like get what the community wants to do. Like the question in this proposal was like make legend a speaker again next AthensDAO, right? And I make like yay, nay, and I went ahead, right? And we can now see how the proposal looks like on chain. Like this is the UI. So you can cast your council vote. I used the council proposal for this. I didn't have any tokens, that's why. So yeah, I've started with the yay, nay, and people can vote. And all this voting happens on chain. So every vote you do is recorded on chain. You cannot escape the blockchain. Everything is visible, transparent, And your voice is very important. So in this case, I voted yes, and you can also see the bubble map is going to show your voting power. So imagine you have like 10 council votes. The bigger your governance power, the bigger the bubble. So it also shows how committed you are to the project. So imagine you have like, let's make a trip to Thailand, and you have this guy with 10K sponsorship, and this guy with 1K sponsorship. Of course, the guy with 10K sponsorship is going to be a very big voicer, because he's the leadership taking this, like he has a bigger bubble. And with every DAO comes a treasury, right? Treasury is where all the DAO funds are going to be stored, be assets, be NFTs, be staking, and everything is transparent, right? You cannot hide anything to the community. So if you just raise, right, and where's the raise going to go? To a multi-sig? Yes, multi-sig in our case is a treasury. It's like every community member will be able to see how much money does the DAO has or makes a month or weekly, right? And within the treasury, the DAO can offer you some DeFi options, like what do you want to do with the money? Do you want to lend? Do you want to do a meteor pool, like how make liquidity? And yeah, everything is possible within the treasury. Also, the treasury will offer some governance rules. What are governance rules? So the treasury is ruled by some rules, as the name said. And these rules will outline how the treasury is going to work. So it's not possible for like one guy with 10% of the supply to come and take the treasury, right? So if the threshold of the DAO is 60%, have you seen the DAO creation? The DAO will need 60% of the the governance power to pass a proposal. So the treasury is heavily related to a DAO proposal. So you probably will need to reach quorum to make something happen. And I will talk about that later. And this is the later, like I just one slide later. So what's the best practices? So governance strategies. What are governance strategies? So when making a DAO, right, big, small, big, you need to think about, like, do your own research. You need to think how much quorum you're going to need, how much supply do you need, because everybody wants to make a DAO, nobody wants to vote, right? And you need at least the minimum to pass proposals. Like, imagine you have this proposal where you get, let's give some funding to AthensDAO, and you need 10% of the people to vote. But what happens if you have like 9% or 8%? It fails. So you may need to make sure you can pass the proposal by doing incentivization. You need to give some money, may like get some delegates. Like you have two types of people, you have passive voters and active voters. So what we need to do is activate these passive voters somehow. Some incentivization, maybe bribe him, as we had this delegation talk before. And yeah, so you need to really think about your governance strategies, also on the legal side, but I'm not going to touch that yet. As you can see, the cat is behind bars. And also touch on community engagement tips, which is very heavily related to incentivization. So how do you make a DAO vote? How to make people of the DAO vote? And you can see very common examples, such as Jupiter DAO, which Dean also talked about how, Dean says he needs to vote automatically, but he's heavily incentivized to vote because he's getting rewards, right? And this is one way to engage the community. Like if your DAO doesn't get anything in back, why should you vote, right? Smaller DAOs are easy. Like you have 3 friends, you can beat them up afterwards, But bigger DAOs are very hard to incentivize, right? And that's one solution to like incentivization, or you get to bribery markets where you can get your governance power from someone who is passive, right? And common pitfalls to avoid, as I'm going to start with council votes, so council token, I mean. So every DAO, I recommend to get a council token. And why is that? So we have seen previous example of DAOs. People created DAOs and they didn't set up a council. What happened? So they transferred a high amount of funds to the treasury, so like 1,000, 10,000, and they came back to Realms and said like, how do we recover these funds? So since they didn't set up a council token, they could not recover the funds because everything is finalized when you create the DAO. Like you cannot create a council token after you finalize the DAO. So they had this community token. Problem is they didn't have enough community tokens to pass the proposal by itself to recover the fund. So it's very important you've also always set up a council. You should not care, just create a council. Like later on, you can burn the council token if you need to. It's easy to improve decentralization with the DAO. The DAO by its name has decentralization in his D word. And you can achieve that by burning the council token way later. I think that's everything I wanted to say today. I want to speed up this. I think everybody is bored today. A lot of governance, a lot of DAOs, and Realms is what enable everybody to create a DAO. If you have little resources, if you want to experiment, what is a DAO? How can I join this? Join communities, join Lean's list, join every DAO you can find, and yeah, you should try. And I will end with this: have fun, be on chain, and yeah, with the people.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. Thank you. So among all the DAOs, would you give us some examples of the DAOs that did not go successfully, or the life cycle of a DAO, it didn't survive?
That's a funny question. We had, that's basically one day. So if a DAO doesn't survive because of a council token or any failure after creation, it doesn't survive. It's blocked. It's destroyed, basically. If you cannot recover your funds, you cannot activate this DAO by itself. Because you can't achieve approval threshold, because you don't have community tokens. You need to buy off the market to get that quorum. And you can't, if you don't have enough resources to buy that off the market, there's no way to retrieve what you have lost. Not sure if that answered your question.
There's a DAO, Parrot. They issued a token, and then the team gave most of the supply to themselves. So at that point, it's not really decentralized. They have most of it. So they were able to just vote to give themselves the entire treasury.
That's also one of the governance strategies you maybe should look for in the beginning, because you don't want your DAO to die after you just created. You need to make sure your DAO is able to pass proposals. So what you need to think about sometimes is make sure you or your team can pass proposals if needed, right? Because if you don't achieve proposals from the beginning, your DAO is set to fail because you have no way to make people vote. So at least in the beginning, make sure you can vote, pass the proposals by yourself. But as you progress your journey through decentralization, you spread out, you need to make sure people and yourself are giving power to the community and not yourself, right? As Dean said, Parrot was an example of a DAO who gave most, not even 1% over. They gave themselves 40% way more in governance power, so they didn't even need the community opinion or voice. So the community opinion didn't even matter. So that's why one example of that, a failed DAO, let's say, they did not achieve the DAO, let's say, ethos. So yeah.
Hi, Legend.
Hi,
my
Hi, Will.
question is, since you're on top of all these Realms DAOs that are hundreds, maybe thousands, and they're all funded with, some of them have a lot of money in the treasuries. Have you identified any easy targets for us to 51% here as a group?
Yeah.
Which I'll take this as a yes.
So that's one, is Voshi here. So there's one very funny example. So Grid, they had this DAO on Realms, right? And every Grid experiment user, they get one token. And the Grid experiments afterwards was, every soul that was locked into validator, you get this token to vote on the DAO. And the whole purpose was after the unlocking, you start a proposal to unlock your soul. So what I'm thinking is the Grid Academy was not tracking that many proposals, because 10 proposals per day. And each proposal had the instruction. So it could be possible that you could attach to a transfer funds instruction instead of unstake from the validator to steal all the Grid Academy treasury.
The hard part about this one
Is that you can't buy the
Yeah,
token.
the hard part was like
You have to find 13 people who, you know,
you didn't need like 13, you need 15.
15 people. But yeah, I know there's a few here. So yeah, if those 15 people were able to get together, put the proposal forward, and Vashi and team were sleeping
Most likely,
for what? They'd have to be sleeping for 48 hours.
like if you know Vosh and the Grid Academy team, like you can deduct is like European team. So what you do is like you play with around the time zone, right?
Now,
That's how can you like steal a DAO.
let's imagine though that this is happening, and they're sleeping. You would probably see the proposal. Would you then go and tell the agreed team?
What's the incentive to tell? I just like,
What a horrible answer. That's not the legend answer.
Last question, and I love the answer. On this one, we have our target. Are there any DAOs in realms that have failed and have locked their treasuries indefinitely? There is no way to retrieve the money, and this is like wasted financial brick. Yeah, brick. That's the right.
there's tons of that got bricked from the get-go, but I'm not. Yeah, not much money. Like the maximum we got locked was 10,000. I mean, sizable money for some people, but you know, the whole Web3 space, like it was the lowest we could, prevent at this warning. Like we give all these warnings every time. So
Definitely shows we're still in the beginning. Thank you, Legend.
So yeah, thank you for all the questions. Any left?
When
Yeah,
legend token?
They're gonna kill.
When
Sorry?
legend token?
Legend token.
When?
When I can do it. I can do a pump.fun now if you want, right?
A quick question, but it's more a Realms question, I guess. Is there a plan to integrate Futarchy directly into Realms?
So yeah, like Jose from back at the room, so he said yes. So there is plans on a roadmap to have Futarchy in some level. So yeah, like Realms already offers a tons of options for every DAO. It's like super power user. Like we want to break it down for more retail type of like pump.fun type of users. And we want to make easier. Like Snapshot is a very easy UI from the get-go. Tallies are like more also. It's a little bigger UI, more professional, but you want to get better UI UX, and yeah, Realms also working on that. But we have tons of plans, tons of features. Like every DAO, the sky's the limit for this. So yeah. Thank you.